DHAADHA'S fireplace, a storyteller's haven.
Oh, so good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Yes, I'm Bogi Male, Bogere Hussein. That's my original name. I'm an artist around this community, Kawempe Division. Once again, welcome everybody because it's Wednesday, and we usually meet on Wednesday for meeting as artists within this community, and all those people who love art engage in the meeting if possible. The reason for this meeting, why we usually sit around the fire in the evening every Wednesday, is to interact and brainstorm about the challenges we meet in the art industry, and how we can push it further so that everybody gets the interest to support us and build our communities bigger through the art we do. Yeah, that's why we're here. So whoever is interested and really has an idea about how we can do it in our communities, it's not only in this community, but whichever community you come from. Yeah, there are people like us who are doing the same thing we do, and they're ignored at times. But the reality is, no one will understand us until we stand on our feet and tell them what we really know and what we are good at, and our impact towards their communities through art. Yeah. So feel free, anybody who is ready to share with us.
Okay, hello. Quick presentation. My name is Martín Peñalosa Cecconi, aka Xora. I'm an artist born in Venezuela, raised in Germany, and very thankful to visit here in Kampala, Uganda.
You're very welcome. You're warmly welcome.
So, just last week, my brother who's sitting here with me, Jamal, maybe he also wants to introduce himself short so we know who we are talking about.
My name's Abade Jamal, artist name, man with a scarf, all the way from Uganda, and yeah, residing in Vienna, Austria, currently. But yeah, here for a month and a holiday with my brothers, a crew that we share, and I craft, which is dance, and yeah, we are here to as well exchange, share our ideas, see if we can also be of help in any way possible.
That would be great.
So, what I wanted to tell is that we had a great, beautiful experience last week in Rwanda, in Nyamata. And I will hold it short for the question. We were dancing in a village with kids, and it felt the closest to my purpose, I would say, what we were doing there. And my question is, how can we do these things that are so close to our purpose, that really give to the ones who are our future, in a form that also sustains our living? Because I have the feeling that in the arts, we often have to choose between something that brings us maybe a support of our own life, or we do something that is so purposeful that it supports others.
Oh, like you asked, can you phrase the question again?
Yes.
It has confused me.
So I perceive that sometimes the projects that are the most purposeful ones are opposite to gaining our living. So it doesn't have to be necessarily money, but yeah, it's like a question to everyone to think about, like, how could it work? Because of course, those kids, you would never ask for money, or their parents, like, or I don't know. You get me?
Like the kids can't ask for money.
No, I say like I was thinking like maybe there's like some organizations you would have to found to cooperate with
the kids.
So yeah, so you can give the kids constantly, because yeah, we get our income from somewhere else, you know, and we lead it there. But how could it be cyclic in this, you know, staying all the time in something
so
purposeful?
That the kids can get
Exactly.
that consistent in
Yes,
training.
yes.
I think since we usually sit like we told you, we sit as artists, we talk about issues that are challenging us. That is one of the issues. And I think me as an artist, before it's exposed, they will not know that those kids are interested. Not until you got there and you exposed what you do, the kids got the interest, picked the interest quickly. And you felt these kids need it. And they also showed you the love. They need it. So when you see it, that's when you start brainstorming on how to do it for them consistently without failing as an artist. Because for them, they love it, but they don't have that connect. So for you as an artist who is already performing and you know you're good at it, I know if you brainstorm with fellow artists, you can easily find a solution to that if you really focus on it. Yeah.
Yeah, was maybe now talking and listening to you, maybe the question is getting more concrete, because I know at least,
which is okay,
that thank you, that in Germany, for example, where I'm residing right now, there's like some funds, and especially like when, sadly, I know about people who misuse it, you know, like some old white man that is like, oh, there's some European funds we can use if we do a connection between Germany and Greece. Then they do a project, they suck a lot of money out of it, do a bit something for a few people there, you know.
Yeah,
the people go there, are really bored about what is being taught about the dance. They don't really interest, you know, are more interested in seeing Greece, and the Greece are interested in seeing Germany, but they don't care about the culture itself. And they go home to the home country and nothing. Yeah. And, but there's like a lot of money because it's Europe,
yeah,
you know, and, I was thinking like, what funds or what resources could there be to do something like an international work, maybe to access, you know, money that comes from these rich countries to bring it here, you know, for these kids that are really interested in taking it, you know?
Yeah. I get you. Like, same up, like I was listening to my brother Jamal. He talked about it as we're talking about some discussion. He told us there are some organizations which are really willing to invest money to fund in such kind of projects. When he came here, that was the first impression he got. He was like, wow, I loved the place. And there's really funding for that. And Gisa replied, told him, I already have some people funding this. That's why you see it existing like this. Yeah. So, same applies here. There are many projects which are getting the fund and misusing it. But we as artists, we stand strong and we say no. We need to stand in this game. Because most people who are doing that are not artists, actually. They're dealers in the art industry. Because if you're an artist, you can't really have such a dream. Just to misuse funds which are given in for artists and you misuse them? No, you can't. I doubt. That's why you see that is everywhere. Even here in Africa, we have it. In Uganda, we have it. People are getting funds, sourcing for funds, but misusing the funds. And what they claim to be doing is not the real exact thing. But once you come here, even outside, you will not see a signpost that this is a glass recycle company. But when you get in, Even before you get in, you realize that where you are, it's a bottle recycle company. Yeah. So that is it. For our community, for us, we are standing strong as artists, and we are really focused on what we really need. Because we as artists, we know there are many artists being born every day. We need to set a footmark for them so that they find the future so bright for them. And besides, through the art industry, we are not only doing art for our benefit. Because when we discuss about art, someone will think we are discussing about our own benefits. But it's also benefiting the community. It's benefiting the community. Because through art, we also recycle. Of which we are now in an urban town where there is a lot of waste. Of which we've had a few months, is it 1 month back? We had a landfill somewhere where they dumped the rubbish. We lost our brothers and sisters. Yeah, because the land was too small and they were piling a lot of garbage, of which garbage is not recycled to the fullest. For them, they had that mind of just dumping. But we recyclers are here. So that's why we're standing on our feet. Want the world to know. Want our country to know that we have recyclers in Uganda. Yeah. So that we teach more recyclers and reduce the waste. We reduce the waste. We teach our people how to sort waste and it becomes the best. Because waste, once you sort it, it's easy to manage.
I just came up with maybe an idea, like from what you were saying, because I love your work. And I feel like it's so great that, as you say, like the recycle brings also out a product that is able to being sold, right? And I was thinking, because in my perception, when dancing with the kids, for example, it's not producing any material. You know what I mean? So I was thinking like how to balance it. You know what I mean?
How to relate the two kinds of art.
So I think, from what I'm understanding, from what you're saying, it's output. Basically, what's the output? So like we have that library like for kids here. Like right now, we're also planning a children's mural art festival, you know, which is going to happen like in schools. But where you have artists go work with kids in schools addressing waste. You know, as much as the kids come here to attend art classes, we have to also, like, the role of our role in community is that can we go beyond them coming here and see them, from their homes, how are they practicing still the art? Because the kid may be just coming here because of the colors, but not really understanding the colors, you know? So when you look at, like, the books in the library, for example, when you say it's a kid's library, but the books are much mature, you know? Why? Because the teacher should be mature, you know? It is the library where you should have artists come through, share the skills with kids from the community who don't go to school. Because so many kids from community here, you see them every day doing labor, like for their houses, you know? But then you don't, when you ask the kid, like when you have free time with the kid's like, I wish I would just come and spend time there and be occupied. So it is our role as artists to take this art as a big thing to, even if it's dancing, you know, if it's theater, we can create, you know, like we say, like the puppet shows. Yeah. Things that collectively put our kids to understand that this generation that is ahead of us, there are certain things it has realized that it didn't either take on, like we didn't practice art here. We didn't have an art school, a creative school where you can tell me I go and study and get masters in creative arts or anything or dance. Only you have one university, you know? So you're kept in that thinking. But right now, everything has exploded. Everyone is their own teacher. You know, someone can run even a university online. So how are we keeping this community togetherness of realness? That's how we're going to give an answer, like, I think, to your question. You know? Because like he said, like Boogie said, the little ones are looking at us. So whatever step we take, they see. But they won't come to ask if we don't put something what?
No, definitely. I think the interest of the kids is there. You know, it's more about like how like a third party could fund this. You know, if they are, you know.
And another thing, there's some point you are trying to raise. Like I was explaining to you earlier, here we meet different kinds of artists. There will be a musician, a dancer, and everybody's like, no, they may be talking about those creatives, those ones who are producing things and drawing or painting. No, it's not the point. We all collectively as artists work in a chain to bring out something, to portray out the whole art game. We're all useful. That's what I can say. We are all useful. Because even if you are staging an exhibition somewhere, or maybe a festival, an art festival, we shall have a stage, people performing, others playing instruments, others selling art. Like I remember when we were at Musinji in Chitintale. There were others selling artworks there, others were painting. So it collectively matches. We move in the same circle. But we just have to know how to do it.
So I want to continue from here, but it's going to be a slightly similar topic. Yeah. You talked about young children. We talked about also the old age as well. So we have the old age group, and we have the young age group. So something that I observed for a while, actually, just also from organizing some events, you realize that you attract more the young age group, which is the more curious age, and then you have the adult people that would just see something, maybe you promoted something, a flyer, they read, they make sense out of it. But then there is a blockage that I feel that we lack this chain of the teenagers between the age of 18 and 25, 26. Like there is this age group that is missing out. And for me, my question is, how is it going to be possible to have this age group like mingled in this kind of art form? Because I feel like the parents, of course, like education, of course, is priority for the parents. I think this is the age group where the parents are really focused on their children to really academically excel. But this is not something that, of course, it's a mindset of thinking that this is how they should be. But I think maybe it's also blocking them to find this creative space or creative portal where they can explore different ideas. So I'm thinking of, is it possible maybe to articulate when we are promoting, for example, exhibitions or gatherings, and we are like, this is targeting only between the age of 16 and 28, to just have this like into their face that this program is for you.
Hello, Mwezi Jonath. I'm an artist from Bushenyi. I'm a recycler and a poet. Supplement on what you said, I think as they said that art is team effort. Gisa talked to me. I went to Bushenyi and taught more people. He showed me here, so when I went to Bushenyi, I also made my own place like this that I'm starting up slowly. Something that has never been there. So it's like mostly in Bushenyi, because for us we were operating under Kwezi Nation. We call it Kwezi Creators Crib. And we mostly do recycling. We teach skilling. So that like when we teach a skill, these kids earn from the skill at the end of the day. If I teach a kid how to make a bangle and he sells that bangle, tomorrow he will have his own income, because what they do not teach us at school is that we need money. And that money, before we wait for someone to bring it, we need to teach people to make it. and have it on their own. So that what they add on us as grants is just a supplement of what we have. So when we, in Ushenyi, what we were doing was part of what you're saying. We're working with an NGO called Rukararo Eco Research Center. It deals in herbal medicine research. It's a German NGO. And mostly what we did for them was we taught the women all skills that we taught the boys, but each group was separate. If we were teaching the boys of this age, they would listen to one crafter at a time, and each group was focused on one skill. For example, if it was crocheting, we wouldn't push crocheting on boys if they don't like it. We know that women are more interested in crocheting and weaving, so we teach the women crocheting and weaving. We teach the boys paper bag making. We teach the boys glass bottle cutting and recycling. So we actually we apply it based on gender roles, because at the end of the day, then you have other people who will just, because they are seeing a boy doing glass bottle cutting, and they will have interest. So we do not tell someone that you cannot do this because of this, but we focus mainly like always in age groups. Yeah, because the women that were teaching were actually like from 45 up to something like 60 years, which is an elderly age. So, but the boys we focused on, we had two groups. In the morning, we had the group of the young kids. And then in the afternoon, we had the youth who were from about 16 to 25 years. So we separated them based on age groups and how fast they can conceive these ideas that we are teaching them. That's what I want to say.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean, but my people call me Sean Dong. Not because what people know as Don, but because my spirit is very high. So I have a question. You talked about teaching them a skill and then they earn from it. Do you also teach them how to handle money? Because that's something they don't teach in school, how to manage money.
Nice one.
That's my question. Thank you.
Of course, we are teaching the youth financial security, because growing up as artists in Uganda, we were more concentrated on education in school that we forgot to learn about financial security. If we had, by the time we were young, learned about financial security, we'd be in a better position right now and support art better. But then we are not complaining about that. We took it as a lesson, so we are teaching others. We are not only teaching financial security, we are also teaching programs like sex education. We are teaching programs like mental health. We always, every time we convene, we make sure we have a mental counselor, like either psychiatrist or a therapist or a psychologist, to come and talk to the youth about their mental health, because it is also needed. Talk to them about their sexual health, because at the end of the day, it also affects us. So like the programs that we are applying to society are not only based on earning and what, they are based on actually sustaining life. We teach them, if it's farming, like for me in Ushenyi, I'm teaching my people how to farm also in a small space, which he decides doing here. And something that I learned from him. And I'm learning more ways of developing better ways of planting food. I was telling someone yesterday that I want to start only making sure planting Irish, but I want that Irish to only be getting nutrients from a very small piece of land, and it produces the Irish. The Irish can be harvested like any fruit, and it keeps on producing. It does not stop producing. What we do there is that we save food. For example, when they uproot the Irish, there are those ones that still be young that they throw away, or that we shall be saving all those. So we shall be adding to the nutrition and adding to food security in the environment, and teaching better farming methods, because people are saying I cannot farm because I do not have land. But you can teach people to farm from a small land, and that takes also you as an artist. Because me, I'm a florist, like I learned vase work, like I do water plants, and I do plants that I know if I put this plant inside someone's house, it is going to help this person positively. Some of them are spiritual. I'm not spiritual, but I give them when they want them. Then every plant, when you put it in a house, it is a natural fan. It naturally alters the environment inside your room. So I have been, like, for example, concentrating on a lot of plants like spider plant, money plant, and very many different types of plants as an artist. You get me? So what I make sure is that if I'm presenting a vase, this vase I'm presenting is not only an art piece, but even what I'm putting inside the vase is an art piece, and it's going inside someone's house for a cause. Not because it's just on a table and as a decoration. So I think, like, art does not stop on selling the product and making money. No, we are teaching these kids everything. Actually, we're even teaching them how to handle their, like, because one of the biggest problems affecting art in Uganda is drug abuse. So we are prepping them, telling them to know all these things before they come and reach this platform, so that they don't suffer the same defeats that we suffered. So, like, we are applying a solution that goes all the way through, not just helping one bit. I think every artist in his capacity is making sure that he provides the necessary solutions that he can provide as an artist. That's why I'm in all those fields. I'm in planting, I'm in poetry, I'm in painting, because I want to touch a kid in every cycle of life that they go through. So personally, me, Gisa is like my father, and he taught me a lot of things. He is more important to me in my life than a lot of people, because he teaches me every day to improve my brain. And it's not an easy thing. And he teaches me everything can be done. So, like, he supported me. I didn't give him any money. He taught me glass cutting as one skill. But later, from one skill, I got inspired and I wanted to do 1,000 more skills that I had seen through that venture that he showed me. So I think if artists could be looked at for the value they add to art, not because of how someone looks, because someone might come here and they are giving that grant to a person because that person looks reputable. But it should not about someone looking reputable. It should be about someone being reputable. Yeah, because I've told you he taught me for free. But the skill he taught me can make me 1 billion. You get me? How many schools teach for free? So if artists like him are supported at the end of that, if we look for the genuine, because I don't think there's any art lover out there who wants his money to come here and be misused. So I think they should be aware that they follow up on the work of artists. It stops only being a word of an artist, and they see the work that these people are doing behind their images. And that will help the art move further, because sometimes we have players who come in art and they just want to manipulate the industry for their own gain. And then there are people who love the craft. You get me? And then the people who love the craft end up giving up. They end up giving up on the craft because these players are fighting them all over the art scene that they love.
Like a point of information. Yeah. As my brother said, Gisa taught him only glass cutting. But later, when he got into the art industry, he went on to discover more art. That is the interest of us artists coming together with different functions. Because once we meet here, he may be only good at glass, But when he meets Jamal, a dancer, he will also pick interest. Because he's an artist, he can easily learn and is interested in the art. The last time we were here for a meeting, we had one of our brothers who is engaged in the movie industry and is working with artists to create those movies. So someone may be a painter and is given a script in the movie because we usually have them around. So that's why I really support the brotherhood that we are trying to put up. It will push us further because learning never ends. You can't say that I'm a philosopher now, no, until they rank you to be one. Yeah, you still have something to discover more. So me, I really love this and I support it. I dedicate my time, at least each moment it's happening. And the youth, we have many who actually work with us during that time. But when you sanction them for such a meeting, they don't show up. Unless you tell, the first time when we had just started this kind of meeting, we had a lot to share. Our kitchen was active. So we had many people around. And all the youth who work with during that time used to come around. So it was really amazing, but I think me and my brother, we had to support ourselves to make it happen and tell them what is on ground. And others were like, these guys usually meet. What is their point? Is there money to share? So that is also another challenge. Yeah. So you may not see them around, but there are many. There are many. We usually hang with them during that time, work together. But right now, it's hard to push them here. Unless you tell them it's a big function, there's a lot to feast on.
That's I would say even Boogie. That's I think why we are now moving it to a more like with working with him constantly. Yeah, he's also from the community, but he doesn't do the same work we do. Like to the fact of visual arts, he's more with performing arts. Like now you're in theater, So for us, we see that it's a network growing. So this idea of a podcast, we see it now growing into an online radio station. So I've been talking to guys in Colombia. They've been sharing some ideas. We're going to see how to connect with them and translate. Like the problem is English and what? I don't know, Latin, whatever they speak there, but we're going to figure it out. Yeah. But we see this thing that just started when we are seated inside the studio, has grown to outside here to now like having you being hosted for the night. For us, I think it's big energy that we have been seeking for long. Like, what can our community get in other than the day version, of where people say the ghetto, you only go there during the day, But this is ghetto uptown. You can come in at night, you chill, have a time, leave even at midnight, even at 2. So we're trying to make also these spaces safe for maybe these funders who think that these spaces can't be funded. Because there's so many projects going underground. As much as my brother is saying, the youth them have to pay attention. And like he said that when you call, we started by cooking. But then we realized we need food. He talked about food security for artists. So we started growing our food. Through connection that someone came up here there, she's called Sharifa. She came and sat and she offered us seeds. We took it on, now we have gardens around. So it is a community that we're trying to strengthen. At one point, even when you come or have friends touring, you can be able to tell them, check on Boogie will link you up. Then Boogie will let us know, like, you know what? Friends of Jamal are coming.
Even through that project of food security, we've given more siblings to members from our community, our fellow artists. We've given those who have space where they can plant. Through this meeting, they've gotten the seeds. They have them already in their homes. They have planted. So there's even some artist who is out there who needs to really listen to this. That's why we usually do a podcast. just wants to listen to this information, because knowledge is wealth. Besides the money, someone, even if you don't give me money, but you give me a word of wisdom, it really pushes me ahead. Someone who has really lost hope and listens to such a conversation will really pick the interest more. And is like, no, I need to do it. I shouldn't give up. Yeah. So our impact is through many things. Through the art industry, we want to move from a linear economy to a circular economy. We don't want to waste anymore. We need that waste to be recycled, upcycled, and put into use. Your old car tires, they can keep in your compound, in your house. Your old polythene bags, the plastic waste, but through art. Because if I don't create it to be nice for you, you won't love it. You'll take it as garbage. Yeah. And still, some of our fellow artists, like musicians, they can still do it in the music. Put it into audio. Yeah. And discourage people from dumping waste, and so we all can impact the community through what we do. The podcasts, they talk about it. When you hear them talking about it, I know even dancers can create something to discourage. Yeah, because
we invite you, you come and do like a public theater performance, engaging, street theater kind of thing with music or anything, but, helping us with whatever we are campaigning with. Now that you have known about our network, because we have been having a lot of different ideas growing, which we can't really finish now, but at least we have notes, So I think we much want also this collaboration to go beyond to where you are. We're also ready to host some people if you have them, because it's like you said, a global village, So if we don't strengthen our networks, we so let down.
Because now, even the painters, we had thought of a concept like painters have to go around the villages painting portraits and portraits about the recycling. Yeah, they can do it on the walls, big murals on the walls, to discourage people from putting waste all over all over the community. And of which, still as artists, that day we are not going to pay any artists, but we really feel like an artist has to come with the courage and the love to do that. So we just have to find a way of fundraising for the paint, so that the activity is done all over the whole community.
My name is Malik Bolaji Sani, and I want to first say I'm very thankful to be in this space with you people.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And it's very inspiring seeing you artists having this kind of space, connecting with each other, and also recycling glasses. And as I arrived yesterday, I was very a lot of impressions, and seeing things made from glass, and these things we were sitting on, glass has its support in it, and it's very beautiful to see. And also seeing you having this community talks weekly. This is really powerful and inspiring. Me sitting here, I'm just I am a chef. I'm a dancer. Also discovering my way in this path that I have chosen in some way, and hoping to someday I could share it with the world.
Amazing.
With my people. And I've not been in Africa since 12 years now, and Uganda is the first place that I've that I've entered since 12 years.
Welcome back.
And yeah, everything I'm just seeing is just it just always just goes straight to my heart, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Wow.
Yes, you're welcome, Malik Nuganga. Yes. And yeah, also grateful to share the trip with these brothers of mine, representing Kali clan. Yes, going back to the point Gisa mentioned about the performance here. It reminded me of lockdown. We had a COVID reality theater show, and every company had to bring a theme that is going to be like more of awareness. We did a theme that was about feminine, so it was more awareness for the Sudanese people, for the Sudanese tribes that were facing this. And yeah, to this, I think it really is a good idea to bring it up here, that even if it's not a very like organized event, or like it could also be just a performance day, and it's also free entry for the people in the village, in the locals, and it can also be like 2 days performance. So for those that missed out the first day, could be maybe the second day, and it's maybe awareness for the work you guys are doing here.
Amazing.
Yes.
I want to jump on something that Boogie has said before about the recycling, because I'm more and more thinking about dance in connection to health. Because of course we can wear stuff that recyclers create, you know. This is a way how you can raise awareness.
That's a good idea.
Which I think we should definitely find a way.
Find a way.
Yeah,
True,
man.
true.
Buy something from you.
Yeah, true.
I already got from your friend the shoes. I ordered them. Yeah, man.
Okay.
But yeah, something is really how you recycle through dancing. Dance itself is recycling, because it's hard to put in words. That's why we dance.
Yeah.
So it's interesting saying it now in a podcast, but I'll try. And I have the feeling it is like, especially people who decide to, or don't even decide, but life decides for them to choose dance as a path in their life.
Of course.
They have lived things. I'm not saying I can speak for all, but for everyone I know, at least I know they have deep wounds. They are healing with that. And this is a recycling process.
True.
And I feel like the way that dance is being exploited in a commercial way really leads away from this recycling process, because it is to look within, to express, instead of impressing someone, doing some nice moves, moving the nyash or something like that. So I think please.
You can communicate through the dance.
You can communicate and you can heal. You can truly heal yourself, and you can empower other people to heal themselves.
That's great.
And I feel like this is like a major cause that is overlooked when you talk about funds, because people think dance is for fun, but I think dance is actually as crucial for community to be in a movement together. And yeah, it's also my first time in Africa, and I have the feeling here's a big love for dance. What does this mean? It's a big love for community, you know? Yeah, man. And big up for Africa, man.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Like, I mean, I have just seen some parts of Uganda and Rwanda, but I have a feeling this is a continental feeling.
And I want to remind you one thing. Way back, since I was a teen, when I just turned a teenager, whenever we used to get some money, we had to go for dance. Every night we are out for dance. We're like this, enjoying.
Yeah,
So
and
you even forget how you hustled for the money, but you're just enjoying.
yeah, man.
So,
And this,
as you said, it's also a healing. So, however much struggles you've gone through, it heals you. It heals the whole mind and body. Yeah.
yeah, adding on that, like, I have maybe two things that are a bit personal. Like, when I was very young, I lost a younger brother, and then there's from my ancestors on the Venezuelan side, there is the Kalina tribe, and they have the Akatat which is, I think, is something that is almost global. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of November, so many cultures celebrate this, which is like a party of the death. At least I know from some Southern American cultures, I know from some European cultures, they have different names. Some have been like try to push away, you know, they try to hide it that it exists, but a lot of indigenous cultures were having them. And yeah, what you do this day is dance. You know, you dance to connect with the dead. There's 3 days especially, and yeah, the first one is for the unborn, the second one is for the children, and the third one is for the adults. And I have a feeling that like this connecting through dance to the dead is something that is so deep, you know. I don't know, it's for me crazy also. Yeah, and I'm thankful for the West African cultures from the Kalibar, because what we have in our culture, the salsa, derives from that. And the Abakwa, which was like a secret society, they also have this cult where the Ireme, which is like a initiator, let's say, he calls upon these people who are dead. So the dance is always, when we go really back, I have the feeling it always is a connection to the ancestors. Like, as the body dies and goes into the soil and gets recycled into what grows from there, it also happens spiritually. And I have the feeling that this happens in dance somehow.
Because even we humans, it's a circular economy. You find you die, but I think we are recycled. We are recycled. There is something else. You're like, wow, look at that matoke. When someone is down there, recycled already. I know through talking, we get to know each other. And through talking, I think we get to discover where help is needed. Because as I told you, even if you're not given money and you just listen to a word, one word can change your life. So before we think about the funds, we think about anything, we need the wisdom. As he asked a question, do you teach those youth how to manage the money they make? That's why we need to talk. Because all creatives, all artists during their time of workshop, you find them busy, don't have time to discuss, maybe listen to music or concentrate on something else, use the internet. Even others don't have time for social platforms. As I was telling my brother, like most of us artists now, like he told you, he was telling about the students he's teaching in Kabale, or is it Pushenyi? You may find some have not gotten this opportunity to even go to school, but they get this opportunity to meet him and learn things which are even beyond their levels. Yeah, for free. So this person also needs something else. You may find he has a problem of language barrier. He needs to be taught how to use the internet. There's a lot they have to learn. And getting that time is having a budget of it. Because if you don't have a good budget of your time, you end up losing out something. We have so many creatives who are doing nice work, but they don't even get time to interact with anybody. After work is really exhausted and tired, needs to rest. You'll find a few who can hustle in the night, become night owls and move. because there are people who you will not meet during the time, and you need to meet them out. So it's also another problem. And our brothers, the musicians, for them, they easily get the breakthrough through, like, you find they get managers easily. Yeah, because some artists need to be managed. Yeah, when you don't have a manager, getting a breakthrough is also difficult, because for you can produce all the nice things and eventually get exhausted. You don't market your work. So I think other artists, some of us need managers, someone who can really handle your social handles, give you a structure, a calendar manager, so there are many things failing out. That's why we need to talk and find answers to our questions. Yeah, because we have many questions in the head. You ask yourself questions, but no answers. But when you discuss with many, you eventually get the answers. Because now musicians here, most of them in Uganda, you find them with managers. They have someone who is responsible to get them clothes, someone who has to organize the shows. Everything is on plan. But if you are doing it alone, managing yourself at the same time you are the creative, it becomes hard.
Okay, thank you. I go by names of Lawrence, Cubs MC, from Nansana, representing the community from Nansana.
You're welcome, brother.
I'm so humbled to be hosted today. Been following this Chilauli session on Instagram, but it's my pleasure to be on it live. So I wanted to talk about the community building, because most of us, we have been talking about the fundings, and we have been seeing since I've been into art since like 2008. I've been following up some organizations receiving funds, but by this time they're not existing. Yeah, I would like to thank Ras Giza, for the energy. You know, I've been waiting for this time to meet him where he works from. We have been meeting in parties, at 5 Horsemen. He met me at 5 Horsemen, but we exchanged such a good energy, and I was like yearning to meet him, but I'm patient with the energy to give back that energy. But it's a blessing to meet him this evening. How are we going to make sure that everything we start continues to the next generation? How are we going to do it? Because we have seen more organizations coming. I'm sorry to mention some organizations, but we grew up in Kansanga. There is an organization there. I won't mention the name, but it's not there. It had a studio. It's not there. Yeah. What happened? Are we going to be in the same lineage? Like we are building something, we enjoy it, then it's over? Guys, we have to check ourselves before we build, or before we continue with the building of the energies in the communities. Let's have that feeling from our heart, like how Ras Giza had to shift from the other side to come this side, to come to the community, to feel that community. Why do we, when we get the money, we run away from the community and we don't feel that love? We have to check ourselves before we continue with the building. Thank you.
Yeah, that is key. What you've said is really key, because now what is challenging in our communities, most artists, we have some who have learned from here. They've learned from Chilauli and now have established their own workshops. The youth my brother talked about. When they come here and they learn, they can start their own workshops.
Which is not a bad thing.
Which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That is those are one of our goals. So when they start their own workshops, though they are not funded, but at least what has really given us the energy, they are existing. Like you are at Pamoja is not funded up there. It's not funded, but it's moving. And it has been there for years. So at most, as I told you, those people who are not really artists or are dealers in art, the ones you find collapsing eventually. Because the dream, they don't bear the dream. For them, they see it as a business. If I start a dance group or a music company and I'm not a musician, I can easily march out of it. But when you look at Gong Studio, started by Bob Marley, Nesta Marley, it's still existing. Because even the offsprings he gave were also turned into musicians, and they're musicians, and it's existing. They can't lose it. They can't afford to lose it. Yeah. So the reason why we are trying to impact our fellow youth in the community, so that they don't just only do the art, but they also have the love for it. Yeah. When they have the love for it, they can't just easily lose it. Oh, Sharifa, you're most welcome. We are happy to see you. Our seeds are now plants, and we welcome you. So it's good you came amidst the meeting. We can share.
Good evening. How are you?
We're fine. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm Sharifa. I'm looking forward to share more, to learn more.
That will be great.
I'm a psychotherapist, and I'm a farmer. There is a project we are working on. We distribute, we hope our communities to start gardens in their own homes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to share more. Any question for me?
Actually, to continue with we were just talking about how can we continue building the community with the art and impacting it so that it can move on generation to generation.
What I think, everyone is an artist in their own way. Like me, in my own work, I'm an artist. Bogi is an artist. If we come here at Echilauli, they are artists. Like, how can we impact our community? We can impact our community by sharing what we know. We have to think win-win. Don't be there, I know something, I don't want to share it with others. That's not right. To impact our community with art, we have to share what we know to others.
Okay, about like sharing what we know to others. Like we are in the generation where like we don't have that time more to share, and even if we have that love, but time doesn't give that love to us to share. So you are in this situation, you want to go to the community, you don't have anything to take to the community, but you want to impact, because you can't, even if you have that art to take to that community, you can't just go there then to invite them to come to you. You have to inspire them. Yeah? So how you as an artist, like as you say in your category, so how are you going to come back to that community with that love, bring them to you?
You know what? Like, bringing back the message to the community, we must know our purpose as artists. You cannot just go in the community, be like, I'm doing this, I'm going to share this with you. We must know our purpose and our passion, because you cannot go in the area where, like, you don't understand what do I want. Like me, my advice to we, as we're sitting here, is to understand what we want, why are we doing this, how do we want to do it, who are the people who wish to impact in our communities. If we know that, everything is going to be easy for us. And when you talk about impacting others, first we have to do something. Like, you cannot be like me, I want to come, without showing anything. First, like, for example, if you are an artist, I don't know which line you are in, you as an artist.
I'm an MC,
An MC, yeah.
but I also do dance.
Do dance. That is interesting because I love dancing. Even my passion is dancing, but I'm not a good dancer. And meeting at least I'm feeling good. I'm getting a teacher because very long time I've been talking to Kathy. I'm looking for a dancing teacher. Before I used to do Zumba, but I don't see myself in Zumba. And my best friend is a Zumba teacher. Like, for example, you as a dancer, what are you doing? Like, for example, now you are telling me you're a dancer, I will be like, what is your name on TikTok? Or what is your name on Facebook? I have to go there, Google you, bichi, see what you're doing. After seeing what you're doing, then I will be like, hey man, I also want to be that guy. I want to be a dancer. That's what we are saying. First, we have to see, are we impacting we, and what we're doing, is it our passion? Or are we just putting ourselves in something which I'm not interested in? First, know what we have to first know what we want before giving it to others, before sending the message to other people, because you have to be the example. Like, let me go back in our project which you're working on. Kathy knows how we started. I used to talk about like, I want to, before in COVID, I tried me as me, not as a group, doing that thing, gardening thing. But at the end, when I looked into the projects I was working on, I was like, what project can I do? What project? So I ended up working on the gardening project. But before, I used to be like, we are going to do gardening. Come people join gardening. And people would be like, Kale, we will join. Why? They were just saying kubanga, there was no nothing. But since we started something on the ground, everyone just come in and, what is this? Me too, I want something like this. So first, we have to first work on ourselves before like sending that goes in our community. Yeah.
I think he has something to add on, or for you. I had just a slight answer. Once again, I'm Abale Jamal. For those who aren't around, and my artist name is Man with a Scarf, and I'm just gonna add on. Yeah, you hear me for sure. My voice might sound a little bit down, but I have a little cough and somehow try to be a bit audible. So I wanted to just add an answer to my brother here, Lawrence, that for anything you need a team. Like, I think of a team as something that could also impact the community in a way that I would reach out to 5 people, he could reach out to 3 people, he could reach out to 2 people. And I feel like having a team is one way to have a big oversight of what you need, market, where you need to target. So this comes to working together as a team. As for me as a dancer, I would say that there are goals that we as a crew, single members, solo projects would take us a couple of 10 years to really do something good for ourselves. But if we are working together, you might find that we might reach our goals in 5 years' time, not 10 years if I'm solo doing projects. So teamwork is one orient, I would say, yes.
You're talking about teamwork, eh? Yeah. But before that team, like, for example, before getting a team, let me give an example of me. Me as a person, I have to first know my purpose. Why am I going to collect that team? What are they going to do? You have to first work on you. Yeah. You as a person.
But of course, I just skipped but I don't mean that you don't have to have something already. You have to have a vision as a person to start a team, of course. So I just went to something that could be of impact or use. Yeah. Yes.
Actually, I would like to, because already before I wanted to add on something, but now I would like to say something maybe that's a bit controversial to that, because I have the feeling in this, let's say, younger generations than me. I'm 25. My name is Martin, or Ixora. I have the feeling there's a lot of people who struggle with finding their purpose. And I think sometimes, like we were yesterday talking about a completely different topic, but for example, in acting, which is one of my main fields, there's two main approaches. And one is definitely the going from inside to the outside, which is my favorite one. But sometimes it can also help to acknowledge the people you like to team up with, to recognize some patterns, to realize what you like to do. It's not always you digging a hole and sitting there for a month until you figure out what you want to do. But sometimes your friends give you, like in Arabic they say, tell me who your friends are, I'm gonna tell you who you are. So sometimes it's valid to have this power, you know, to choose. What I wanted to add before is actually encouraging what you said, because I loved it. Because I really like to find the purpose through adventure also. Because I feel like when we are in actually dangerous situations, it doesn't necessarily has to be like really the life, but it can be emotional or whatever. We get back to our center. We realize what we're really good at, because I have this example. I got in some trouble with a military in Venezuela, in some check, and these guys, they just can kill you. So for a moment I was scared, and then suddenly I just start to sing and dance. And this person realized I'm not having fear. You know, I was being in my element, and if he wanted to take my life, I'm ready, because I already am fulfilling my purpose, you know? And this is where my strongest power lies. If I start to discuss with him, no, if I would be a politician or a rhetoric person, okay, maybe this I should do. But this is not my center. My center is dance. So I think also to what we were saying before about like being interested in the different kinds of arts, and I think this is beautiful. This is like growing roots to other extents. Yeah, for example, reaching deeper is something else. It's another dimension. This is like where your center is reaching deeper. Reaching wide is trying out other fields. So yeah. Just this to say like how to maybe also find your purpose when you don't know, because I think we are here, people get it, that somehow already have something grasped, you know, but maybe to encourage people that don't know to really check what they like in their friends, why they are friends to them, and also to really set yourself out in a position into an adventure to see what is there when it gets hard.
Adding on that, that is why me myself, what I think, finding a purpose is not something easy. It takes time. And for some people, it takes years to find their purpose. And anytime, like, I can be like, me, I'm a dancer. If I be like, I'm a dancer. Okay, I'm a dancer. Do I want to be a dancer? I must ask myself that question. And why am I doing that?
When you say why, I have had this. I research a lot about this, like the questions around the purpose. And I have to say for myself, maybe you had a different experience, but the why is leading you somehow into the mind. When you ask what, you have direct answers, because you realize that the what is becomes specific. You know, it tells you about qualities. Why you're asking into a blurry field.
I see that, but
the why goes like into the past, and you know what I mean?
I don't understand what you mean. But why the why must come in our purpose? I'm telling you that.
I feel like it's important to have the double
Why?
direction
Like
of the why. Like what was in the past and where you want to go.
I
Because
see that.
sometimes you get stuck in the
middle,
past.
where
Yeah,
you-
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Actually, I think purpose, it's very crucial. Like it must be before like you think about loving something. Why? Why do you want to do it? What's the purpose? Because if you understand the reason why you want to do something, even if you get a lot of problems on the way, you always stay on the purpose.
So nice. It's burning right now. I have the feeling we're burning together. It's like we're coming somewhere. I want to go a bit into the etymologia in Spanish, etymology of the word, because at least in Spanish it's propósito. And it says pro is for, and posito is like a cause. It's for a cause, you know? It's a direction. It's a directional word. And yeah, this is why I separated it from the why, because I tend to circle then around, you know? And I feel like circling is good as long as you have it combined with a direction, because then you get into a spiral. Then you can get deeper. If you just circle, you know? So you have to have this cause where you're leading at.
What do you mean by the cause?
What I mean with the cause is, for example, for me, what I realize is one thing that I myself inside of my purpose is liberation. So when I talk about it, it's like first how you said it yourself, like finding this constant movement of myself, always liberating more and more myself, but through this motion encouraging others to move into this direction. So this is my cause.
Yeah, but I would like to add something
Yes.
on that. You know, we all, like, as I said, so many people, it's not something easy to understand what you want, to know your purpose. That is, it takes years for some people. You know, before finding our purpose, what I think is, me as me, we have to go back in what we call self-awareness.
Yes.
We go in emotion. What emotion? That's where we find the feelings. What are the feelings? Then we have to go deep into our ego. We call it ego.
Ego.
Yeah,
it's
you,
fine.
you know. At least I'm trying. You have to go back into that. You understand? Like, what makes me happy? What makes me this?
Yes.
If you go deep into that, then it can be easy for you to find your purpose.
And yeah, adding to that again, like I think that our purpose too, like I think that it also like changes. It's not that you have like a specific purpose in this life, that this is your purpose. I think that with growth, you might have a purpose, in a vision that this is your purpose in life, and with time changing and you growing, your purpose would also might change. It doesn't mean it might change to a bad to a bad way, but like it's also growth. It's also like all I want to say is its purpose is it's part of growing. It's not like constant.
Yes.
A point of information, brothers, like Shu has been saying, one of the greatest reasons why we meet up on Wednesday is to catch up with our fellow artists, so that we all get to know each other. We have different ideologies in arts. Others are musicians, others are dancers. As you said, everybody's an artist. Even God is an artist. That's what I can tell you.
Best.
But all I can tell you is, me, I've been challenged a bit. And I've been meeting many youth who come around our workshop at Pamoja. Youth around the community, they usually come. Others, they usually come to just enjoy, do some kush. They know this is a Rasta place. Others come to chew their cud, you know. But eventually, they end up loving the arts. Why? Because we inspire them. We have already the vision. They get inspired, they see us earning, they see it as something useful. Because now we're in a country where unemployment is at a high rise and the population is rising every day, where people are learning a lot of theory without practice. When we're in the lockdown, most people were really locked up. But we as artists were still performing because people needed masks. They needed a lot of things because they were home. They needed to do some urban farming with using waste. They needed to manage their waste. So it was a lot. So since we artists inspire them, others will tell you, me, I'm a driver. And you tell him, but right now you don't have a job. That's why what he was telling you, Balik said about it. He told you, you may think that is your purpose, but eventually you find it can't sustain you. So how will you discover yourself? Or how will you discover purpose? Once you get to the right people. When you get the right people, you will discover yourself.
Just a short one. I think it's very important also to distinct between what is maybe an objective, what is an intention, and what is purpose. Because an objective it definitely can change. I don't believe that the purpose changes.
Well, from my side, I believe that artists working in community, there's one big thing that goes around your ears, especially me, like coming from another community, like traveling around Kampala with this idea till I settled here. So you realize the artists will always say, we want money, you know, but we don't put our brains to make the money. Though we think we put brains. In what capacity, ask me? We put the brains, yes, to paint and have all these shows, yeah? But we don't put the brains in really focusing on how we are going to create these shows, yeah? For example, I'm speaking in a perspective of here and within our own communities, that the artists who you find on the street carrying artworks here within this community, and they tell you, man, I'm looking for money. But then when you check the daily program, how they do this artwork, it is not actually because of money driven. Because money driven, right now we have creative entrepreneurs. I think everyone is practicing entrepreneurship, even with dance, even with what. So now it has flattened that whatever artist you are, you're saying there's a way you want to do it to earn from your what. We have come to that level. Let's not keep in that generation of artworks on the road. We are now in a generation where we have TikTok, we have all these things, and we had enough time to practice them, you know? A podcast before was something new, like to us. But guess what? Now we have enough, like we have had even previous episodes that you're going to listen to, you know? It's just, I think, through practice that what I ask is that can we put the same practice of art that we put to create the piece into the same with the business, you know? If we could put the same energy, because sometimes we put so much energy in the art piece and then we feel that we're done with our work, it's going to just sell itself. It can't sell itself. You know, however much your name is out there, there's something that you have to do artistically, either by writing a statement, like an artistic statement, which you could say, if you will say, like, why we have this community night talk, is to build such experience. Because when you travel to festivals abroad and you meet an artist, yeah, we say on a biennale or anything, you find that there's words that are written. If you have like been to school, you're like, wow, you get it. But if you get those words and print them here and put them in these streets, people will walk by them every day, you know? So much of this community gathering is that, what role are we playing if we have all these guys around here? I would tell you, like, there is Nsubuga, yeah? There's Kagame, there's him. These are guys who are within this community. Guess what? Where we're seated, they're the ones who built it. Straight from that door up to here. You get me? So our artistic role, for them to be, I feel also to be like, if we build such audiences, yeah, we're building also international realization for them not by just putting them on TikTok, yeah, but someone feeling their presence. So that is the community building aspect that I feel that we only look at. We want money in the bank. The money is there. We execute so well. People clap for us in our hands. You know, you want to pass everyone. So everyone is like, yeah, you are the best. TikTok, they're giving you the likes. Those things don't make sense. At the end of the day, you go down, 6 down, you're gone. But the legacy that you leave behind, that a child can adopt, and from like this kind of environment that we come from, because already that is West, but we're also West. We're becoming so much West to ourselves. Like he said, we spend as artists so much time working in our studios, but we don't get time to talk. Because if I find him at his workshop, we say Boogie, and he's working on his work, he will be like, man, Gisa, I'm working. I will keep sitting there talking. He'll be working. He will not give me time. And I will know that I have to move. And it's automatic. He doesn't need to say it. Because I'm also an artist, I need to be in my studio at that time. But when we arrange time and we say we come together, yeah, and we commit to it, now it brings me to the point of artist commitment. You know? The same thing I told you, the much energy you give into an art piece, it's that same energy you can give to, we say, your friend. Because your friend is more living than that art piece. You know? So if you collectively like think with your friends or your artists or whatever community, but let's say basically community, and practice some, you know, ways of like this is campfire. That's what someone would call it. But in our tradition, always in the evenings, we had a sit down where they had like storytelling, you know. Yeah. So for us, it is open conversations. So, bansobuga, tusaba ko abakulu bano nabo mumamanyeko bavudde wala bali wano paka Sunday n'emirimu gyo bagisiimye. So it's the network that we build, and also here we have Kathy. Kathy, introduction.
Good evening to everybody.
Good evening, Kathy.
I'm Kathy from Chebanda. I'm the one who prepares food for everybody here.
Very important.
I would like to add on what Gisa has been saying. Like, Gisa said something, like someone can be like, man, me, I'm a driver. That is my purpose. Yet they don't know their purpose. And the reason why we don't discover ourselves, I'm going to talk like a Ugandan. Like in school here, we don't get that chance to learn what we call the life skills. You know, if you go more deep into life skills, it is very easy for us to find our purpose and why we're here. Those life skills, maybe I can give some few examples. Like, for example, what we call them life skills, like communication. We don't know. Some people we do not know when it comes to communication. How do I communicate with others? That is a life skills. If we go in communication again, we'll add on listening. It is also a life skill, which we don't know. Some of us, we don't know how to listen to what? To others. Then again, life skills, we are going to bring what we call creative thinking. How do you think? Like something like, let me talk about here in Kilauli. Like Gisa looked at that glass. He was like, what can I do with that glass? That is what? The creative what? Thinking. Even problem solving. It comes in the life skills. We don't study that. If you know how you can solve problem, simple example again, I'll come back here at Echilauli. We talked about creative thinking. After thinking, what can this glass do? We solve that problem. Now, after going in problem solving, again, we'll go in decision making. If we know all of this, like this, I'm just saying 5 only. If you know those 5, you put them in your mind. At the end of the day, it will help you to decide. That is what we call life skills. And if you're able to master the common life skills, it will be easy for us to know what we want.
Yes.
And why we're doing it. Like, for example, if I ask Gisa why he's doing what he's doing, I'm 100% sure he has his why. Same thing to me. Why am I doing what I'm doing? That project, the reasons. I am able to give those reasons. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody can find their purpose.
Yes, just a brief conclusion maybe to some of the thoughts that we've been sharing today. Yes, I want to answer back to about the purpose. Does the purpose change or not? For me, the purpose doesn't change. I believe as an artist, there is a block wall that you face within your purpose, within your why. There is that block wall, and this block wall comes in when you stuck on ideas or stuck on innovations. So I believe the only way to break the block wall is to still work with people. This is one way to actually evolve. So I feel like I believe that the why evolves. It doesn't change. It just evolves. Like we have purposes that we have as foundation, and that is your first purpose. Maybe it's your foundation, but it's just gonna evolve. It's just gonna have branches and branches.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. After I also wanted to thank Gisa for sharing what he talked about TikTok. It also came to my mind of what is happening here in this place, that this is physical gathering, this is social gathering, that is actually going to introduce you to the specific people. I would be here, but if I would see it on TikTok, I would not know that this man here makes this, or I wouldn't know that this man makes that. On TikTok, I would know, oh, Echirawi, they do this and this and this, and that's it. But I believe this social gathering is also one way of actually evolving one's purpose, like each one's purpose, because this is like teamwork. It's like a string connecting you to people and knowing what they're doing.
All those artists with spaces, we move to those spaces, we rotate. So like a point of correction about the purpose, it may not change, but someone may lose it. Me, that's what I think. Because as he talked about, most people now, like in our country here, Uganda, everybody is focused on how to earn a living. You may be a very good artist. I have so many friends who are good artists, but they lost their purpose just after COVID. The workshops are shut down and they marched out of art business, out of the art industry. They no longer do it, and they confessed for that. I'm like, no, I can't get any sustainability out of this game anymore.
I would like to answer to that, because you said about losing the purpose, and I think when we say losing the purpose, at least how I understand it, when we talk about purpose, it's a spiritual thing, and we say sometimes you cannot get robbed in the spiritual world, because you can die, you can whatever. But the spirit is always there. What you can is you can lose the connection to it, but the purpose is always there. Yes, so it's really about this connection. I say once more, like, it's important how we word it, because when you believe you can lose your purpose, it's harder to come back. You know, like to find this connection again. If you realize it's just the connection, this is fast. This is like the connection to the internet. Oh, it's off. Oh, now it's back again. You know? No, it's for real. For me, it's really important to have this clear, because it's like a switch. And I believe that everyone who has experienced the connection to the purpose, and which everyone does, because when we are born, everyone is connected to it, and somehow in society, you know, you get disconnect and then you connect again. Yeah. So it's really like a switch. When you're in it, you feel it, you know it, you're doing, you're feeling, you're sensing what you're supposed to. Yeah. So I think it's really important to have this clear. And for me, I'm very thankful, and I want to say thanks to my brothers who are sitting here next to me, Jamal and Malik, because one of the reasons I think why I'm in this crew, also in this dance crew, is because I was disconnected to my purpose. But when I met these guys, like it was first Malik, it switched back every time we meet, you know. And then Jamal came from here, from Uganda, to Vienna, where we were living all three at that moment, and it connected directly, you know. So I think it's really, for that, it's really good once you feel your purpose, to have these people who remind you of it.
That's great.
Yeah, man.
And I
so
think
thank you, brothers.
our meeting is really awesome, because once we meet others who are trying to lose their purpose, they will switch back.
And find their purpose.
Yeah, and find their purpose. Anyone still with a point?
I just want to it's also like a question that can your purpose, saying not losing your purpose, but purpose is like being changed. Maybe you had a vision of something, but it's not that you lose something, you gain something else. That's what I'm like.
Answering that question, me sometimes what I feel, you can be there doing something, thinking, man, this is my purpose. Yet it is not your purpose. I'm telling you. If you find something better, you can switch. Why do you think? Like, for example, me, I used to be I was in accounts, and I just told myself, I don't see me there. This is not my purpose. Why is my purpose?
I would like to add something, giving credits to Jonathan, because we were having a talk at home for a moment, and yeah, it's just something little, but deciding, because you said when you think you're in your purpose, and then you said when you tell yourself, and it already lies there. It's not what you tell yourself or what you think, but what you sense. And Jonathan said this, like, when you're in your intuition, you cannot go wrong. You just know it is, you know.
So it quickly takes me back to the block wall again. As a creative, when you face a block wall, it's just a chain that is you want to find. This is when you're stuck of ideas, or you're stuck of how you can expand your goal, or I would say your calling, whichever you could call it. So I feel like this is where most of the artists are not patient enough, and this is where it's changes sometimes, and it's like, oh, he was a dancer, after 10 years he's now doing tailoring, you know, or I don't know, something else. So I think there is also patience, and within this patience it takes me back to also the people around you. The people could also mirror or actually remind you of what you can't see as a person. That's why I feel like the gatherings are always like a mirror. It's like a reflection. I always get to just to remind me that this is actually worth it. Like, you've been doing so much work for the community. Why do you want to, break
Do what
away?
you're doing.
Yes.
You know, sometimes we be stuck there in middle. Like, it can be like someone can come up with a deal. You know what, Cherry? Yeah, you know how to draw pictures. Hey, I know. Come, they are giving lots of money here. You just draw 2-3 pictures in a day. So when you go on that, you be like, I have found my purpose. Ubanga, there is cause of money, yet it is not what? You're doing it better, but you're earning something.
Good evening once more.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah. I don't know whether there's still someone with a point.
Yes.
Because, you know, the meetup has become so interesting and time is against us. Our meetup usually closes at 9. So I really don't know whether we can keep that information for next meeting on Wednesday, or you still want to proceed.
Well, we will be gone next Wednesday.
Can I say good night?
Good night.